Good morning, I'm Connor James. The time is about 6 o'clock and today is August 8th. It's a Thursday. Let's check in with meteorologist Kelly McShane for a look at your forecast this morning. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Connor. I know you mentioned a little bit ago that when you were on your way in, you saw a little bit of fog, and that's what we can expect throughout the morning. Dealing with that thick fog throughout the region. Here you can see on our visibility map, less than 1 mile in a lot of places. Now to give you a frame of reference, less than 5 miles is significant. It looks like the map just updated. 5 miles in Hazard and Jackson, and then less than 1 mile into Harlan, Bell, and then even into Williamsburg, looking at 0 miles of visibility. So be sure to be very careful because that fog definitely going to be thick at times. Temperatures around the region, we are in the mid-60s for a lot of us. So overall, those temperatures pretty comfortable, but definitely foggy out there. But satellite and radar, really not too much to talk about. As far as rainfall goes, will that continue into the afternoon? I will have those details here in just a little bit, Connor.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Well, we first told you on Tuesday that Copper Glow is buying the Black Jewel mines in Harlan and Letcher counties. Now the miners are looking to receive the money they were guaranteed. The miners say they will not end their protest in Cumberland until the money is in their accounts. The miners recently met with lawyers fighting for their wages. WYMT's Emily Bennett was there.
It seemed like hope was lost, but then
when they said bankruptcy court, mostly people lose. You know, and they fought and fought and fought for us. So it's a small victory.
Attorney Ned Pillersdorf met with the miners with good news after Copper Glow bought the mines.
Assuming they mine coal, we know we're getting at least $1 million, and us and the government are going to negotiate over the $6 million.
That negotiation over a property lien.
We've got a fair shot of getting a big chunk of the $6 million.
Pillersdorf was shocked at how well the court hearing went and the judge's response.
The nation rallied around them, understood how badly they'd been mistreated, and I think that impacted things. You know, the judge made a comment to the lawyers that these gentlemen needed to be treated with respect.
But the miners are still waiting for their money.
It's here to get our wages. And I mean, yeah, they're saying right now that they're paid, but we've not seen it. So when we see it, we'll be on our way.
And they want to make sure those checks don't bounce.
Decided to, you know, one of us at a time go, cash the check, and if it clears, next person goes down and cashes the check.
But until then, they have support around them.
But have you seen those Harlan miners out here on the tracks? Anything can happen when we have each other's backs.
Wanting to see a happy ending. In Harlan County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
The mood has changed at the tracks. The miners say there is now a sense of positivity and hope. And we now know a little more about Copper Glow. Their office is located in Knoxville, Tennessee. The company was founded 60 years ago in 1959. They operate mines at a processing facility north of Knoxville in Clearfield, Tennessee. And Shop Local ended the shirt fundraiser for the Black Jewel miners Tuesday. This is what the shirt looked like. At last check, the shirts helped raise about $65,000. And hospital employees and their loved ones lined the front of the Pineville Community Hospital in protest yesterday afternoon, just hours before the hospital stopped services. Some said they believed the city did everything they could before they had to stop funding hospital operations. Local and state officials stood with employees, hoping for answers about the hospital's future.
You know, we've paid a lot of money to keep our ER open, so, you know, maybe this debt that we've ran up, at least we've saved a few lives and been able to fly a few people out and save their lives. So yeah, it's a little bigger than just saving the hospital.
In a statement, the hospital administration said, quote, the hospital would no longer provide emergency room services or other services after 7 p.m. on Wednesday. The future remains unclear. And Congressman Hal Rogers released a statement on the situation last night saying, quote, despite the interruption of healthcare services at the Pineville Community Hospital, I have worked to facilitate communications between hospital officials, necessary federal agencies, and the city of Pineville for several months. And those conversations will continue. Rural hospitals often face difficult challenges to keep their doors open. But the people of Pineville can rest assured that every resource will be exhausted to ensure local residents will have access to medical services as we continue to work toward a sustainable resolution. And when a crisis happens, you can always see communities come out together to help out. Letcher County officials are taking a new approach to help with the ongoing crisis that has affected the entire country. WYMT's Lauren McCord explains.
When you hear the sound of a gavel, It's usually never a good sign in a criminal court setting.
Standing up in court and saying, please, Judge, can you keep this person in jail?
But District Judge Kevin Mullins is trying a different approach than just sending people to jail.
Let's try a new approach and let's see how this works.
And in the past few months, progress seems to have been made.
102 people coming out of this little jail right here in Letcher County since March 25th.
Now, those 102 people are on the road to recovery.
The lawyers, the prosecutors, the public defenders, everybody's on board. We believe in you.
Michael Clark from Addiction Recovery Care and several Letcher County officials are offering their assistance to those seeking a better life.
I'm proud in the sense that we've had a whole community that's come together to make this work.
And inmates are getting the help they need.
Treatment is going to help people as opposed to just simply sending them and let them sitting in jail.
All they have to do is just ask.
There's a lot of people rooting for you. There's a lot of people pulling for you. You just got to take that first step.
Making a big difference in a small community.
102 in less than 100 days. No, I never imagined this.
One day at a time. In Letcher County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
Judge Mullins says in the past few years, 191 people have completed rehabilitation programs. And police in Knox County say a man knocked out an elderly man. Benjamin Fusen faces a charge of first-degree assault. During an argument, sheriff deputies say he jumped into the back of a truck and grabbed a 2x6 piece of wood and hit a 69-year-old in the head. Investigators say the victim split his head and fell to the ground unconscious. Now to Lawrence County, where a 14-year-old girl fended off intruders with a gun. It happened Sunday in the Blaine community. Police say 2 burglars attempted to break into a home. Only 2 teenage girls were inside at the time. One grabbed a gun, loaded it, and fired a warning shot. The 2 intruders took off. Constable Daniel Castle says she had to do what was necessary.
Considering that she's 14 years old, she did a good job. I encourage everyone that can legally carry a firearm to protect themselves and their families, just in case the need arises.
The girls were not hurt. Those would-be burglars are still on the run. Meanwhile, this man is still on the run. His name is Charles Ray Blevins. State police believe he shot and killed a man 1 month ago in a Pike County park. He should be considered dangerous. Anyone with information should call 606-433-7711. And 2 teenagers face charges in Laurel County. Investigators say they led deputies on a chase. Deputies say this motorcycle was reported stolen in Corbin. Deputies found the 2 teens riding it and tried to stop them. The teens would not pull over. Deputies say the chase went on for 7 miles. And deputies eventually arrested the 16-year-old driver. They are not telling us his name, but say he's charged with receiving stolen property, running from police, and wanton endangerment. Deputies also arrested Dalton Reed Colmer. He is charged with receiving stolen property and running from the police. And a young man died Monday in a Breathitt County crash. State police say 21-year-old Travis Armstrong was riding a dirt bike when driving on Highway 3193 in the Wolverine area. Troopers say his bike collided with a commercial truck. Armstrong died on the scene. Right now, it's unclear who is handling his funeral arrangements. And Interstate 64 and the Mountain Parkway are back open in Clark County after a coal truck crashed late Tuesday night, causing a huge mess. The truck crashed on an overpass over the interstate while on the parkway, leaving the truck dangling over the interstate. You can see in this video, coal and diesel spilled onto the road. Part of the interstate was closed for about 7 hours. Transportation officials are checking the damage to the bridge. It's not clear when repair work will begin.
Temperatures this morning a little bit on the warmer side. We're seeing mostly 60s throughout the region, mostly mid-60s as well. A few a little bit cooler, a few a little bit warmer, but overall 60s is what you can expect as you step out the door this morning. So I don't think anyone's going to need a jacket this morning. However, be mindful, very thick fog throughout the region, especially towards Interstate 75 near the Tennessee border. into Harlan and Bell counties as well. Pikeville looking at less than 1 mile of visibility as well. So just be very careful out on the roadways because that fog definitely very thick at times. Be sure to use those low beams out on the roadways. Today we are going to see those temperatures into the mid-80s. A pretty typical August day is on the way for us. Can't rule out a stray storm. I do think most of us do stay dry though with plenty of sunshine on the way. I'll have that full forecast here in just a little bit, Connor.
All right, thanks, Kelly, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Still to come, as the school year begins, Kentucky lawmakers want to make sure students are safely getting off the school bus and drivers are paying attention. And the Eastern Kentucky Concentrated Employment Program is partnering with a company out of Washington, D.C. for job training in the cybersecurity field.